Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. So in today's video we will be learning about permutations and combinations. So in this video we will be learning on problems that are based on formation of numbers. We will start with very basic questions and gradually move to complex ones. So let's get started. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 are available. Find number of 5-digit numbers if repetition is not allowed. So the question means that out of the 5 digits that are available, you have to form a 5-digit number in such a way that if one digit is used once, you can't use that same digit again. So let's see the solution. So we have to form a 5-digit number. So we have 5 placeholders. Now the first place can be occupied by any of the 5 digits. So it will be 5. Now since one of the digits is been used already, we can't use it again. So the next place can be occupied by 4. Now again, in the same context, the next placeholder can be occupied in 3 ways, then 2 ways, and then 1 way. So the solution to the problem is the multiplication of all the above ways, which is 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, which is 120 ways. Find number of 5-digit numbers if repetition is allowed. So this question is more or less similar to the previous question. The difference here is any of the 5 digits that are used once can be used again. So let's see the solution. The solution is we have 5 placeholders and each placeholder can be occupied by any of the 5 digits in 5 ways. So it is 5, 5, 5, 5 and 5. So the solution is 5 to the power 5, that is 3125 ways. The next question is find the number of 3-digit numbers if repetition is not allowed. So please pause the video and try to solve this question by yourself. The solution to this problem is, since we have to form only a 3-digit number, so we require only 3 placeholders. Now, the first placeholder can be occupied by any of the 5 digits in 5 ways. In similar fashion, the next placeholder can be occupied by the remaining 4 digits in 4 ways, and the last can be occupied by the remaining 3 digits in 3 ways. So the solution to this problem is 5 into 4 into 3, which is equal to 60 ways. Find number of 3-digit numbers if repetition is allowed. This is almost a similar question that we have seen. I would suggest you to please pause this video and try to solve this question by yourself. The solution to this problem is, since we have to form a 3-digit number, so we have 3 placeholders. Now the first placeholder can be occupied by any of the 5 digits. And since repetition is allowed, the remaining 2 placeholders can also be occupied in 5 ways. So the final solution is 5 into 5 into 5, which is 125 ways. The next question is find number of 6-digit numbers if repetition is not allowed. Please pause this video and try to solve this question by yourself. Remember, the use case is repetition is not allowed. So the solution to this problem is we have 6 placeholders. The first placeholder can be occupied by 5 digits in 5 ways. Second, since one digit can't be used again, so we have only 4 digits that are remaining, so it is 4 ways, then 3 ways, then 2 ways, then 1 way, and we have no digit for the last placeholder, so it is 0 ways. So when we multiply all the above number of ways, we come up to a result that is 0. Find number of 6-digit numbers if repetition is allowed. So now since repetition is allowed and we have 6 placeholders, so each placeholder can be filled in 5 ways. So the solution to this problem is 5 to the power 6 ways. Before moving ahead to the next question, there are few things that you should know. So let's recall them. First is, for even numbers, the units place can be occupied by either 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8. For odd numbers, the units place is occupied by 1, 3, 5, 7 or 9. If a number is divisible by 5, the units place is occupied by either 0 or 5. For a number that is divisible by 3, sum of digits is divisible by 3. For a number that is divisible by 9, sum of digits is divisible by 9. So let's move ahead and try to solve a few questions based on this. The question is, find number of 5-digit odd numbers if repetition is not allowed. So whenever you need to form a number which is an odd number, the units place can be occupied by either 1, 3, 5, 7 or 9. But in this case, we have a restricted condition that we can use only the numbers that are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So out of them, only we can use 3 digits in the units place. So now just a suggestion, whenever you have a case wherein a restriction is involved, always try filling those placeholders where, where we have restriction, and then go ahead filling other placeholders sequentially. So in this case, we have 5 placeholders. So the restriction is on the units place. So we fill that place first, and that place can be filled in 3 ways. Now we are left with only 4 digits as the repetition is not allowed. So the first placeholder can be filled in 4 ways. The next placeholder can be filled in 3 ways, then 2 ways and 1 way. So the solution is 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 into 3, which is equal to 72 ways. The next question is, find number of 5-digit odd numbers if repetition is allowed. This question is quite similar to the previous question, so I would request you to please pause this video and try to solve this question by yourself. So we know that the number of ways in which the units place can be filled, considering that we have only 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 are 3. So we always go ahead and fill the placeholders which has restrictions. So we'll go ahead and fill the units place first. So the number of ways in which the units place can be filled is 3. Now, since repetition is allowed, we are still left with all the 5 numbers. So all the remaining placeholders can be filled with all the 5 numbers in 5 ways each. So 5, 5, 5 and 5. So the solution to this problem is 5 into 5 into 5 into 5 into 5 into 3, which is 1875 ways. For this particular set of questions, 0 to 9 are available. Now the question is, find number of 3-digit number if repetition is not allowed. So a very important use case that you need to consider for this type of question is, we cannot start a number with 0. So considering this, please try to solve this question by yourself and pause this video. The solution is, we have 3 placeholders. We should always start filling those placeholders which has restrictions. In this particular case, the restricted placeholder is the first one. So as we cannot fill it with 0, so we are left with 9 other digits. So the first placeholder can be filled in 9 ways. Suppose we fill the first placeholder with 6. Still we are left with 9 other digits. So the second placeholder can be filled in 9 ways and the third can be filled in 8 ways. So the solution to this problem is 9 into 9 into 8, which is equal to 648 ways. Now this is just another follow-up question in which repetition is allowed. So I would request you to please pause this video and try to solve this question by yourself. The solution is, we cannot start a number with 0. So the first placeholder can be filled only in 9 ways. Now, since repetition is allowed, so we are left with all the 10 digits. So the next placeholders can be filled with 10 digits as no restriction is there. So 10 and 10. So the solution is 9 into 10 into 10, which is 900 ways. The next question is, find number of 3-digit numbers greater than 600 if repetition is not allowed. I would suggest you to please pause this video and try to solve this question by yourself. The solution is, we know that a number cannot start with 0. Now we have 3 placeholders. The first placeholder, since the number should be greater than 600, so it can be occupied by either 6, 7, 8 or 9. So the number of ways we can do that is 4. And now since repetition is not allowed, so we are left with remaining 9 digits. So the second placeholder can be filled in 9 ways and the third placeholder can be filled in 8 ways. It is always a very good practice to fill those placeholders which has restrictions, as it makes the solving of the sum quite easy. So the solution is 4 into 9 into 8, which is equal to 288 ways. Now case problems. Now let's move ahead and solve a little complex problems which has case in them. The question in hand is 0 to 6 are available. Find number of 5-digit even numbers if repetition is allowed. Now for a number to be even, the units place can be occupied by either 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8. But now since we are restricted to using numbers ranging from 0 to 6, so the number of ways in which the number of digits that can be used in the units place is 4, that is 0, 2, 4 and 6. Now a very quick tip. Whenever you have restrictions around the number 0, it is always advised to form cases and solve the question. The two cases for this particular question is 0 not at units place, 0 at units place. So for 0 not at units place, we are left with only 3 choices that can be placed in the units place. So it is 3. Now the first placeholder can't even be placed with 0. So we are left with only 5 choices. Now after filling these two places, there is no other restrictions. So the other places can be filled sequentially with the remaining digits, that is 5, 4 and 3. So for the first case, the solution is 5 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 3, which is equal to 900 ways. For the second use case, 0 present at the units place. So since 0 will be always present in the units place, so the number of ways the units place can be filled is 1, and there is no other restriction. So filling the values sequentially, we have 6 into 5 into 4 and 3. So the solution is 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 1, which is 360 ways. Now in the previous video, I have explained that whenever we have an question which has cases, we always have to add the two results. It is because it is always linked with an OR operation. Either we will do this or we will do that. So the final solution is 900 plus 360, which is equal to 1260 ways. The next question is 0 to 6 are available. Find number of 5-digit numbers divisible by 5 if repetition is not allowed. Now this question is quite similar to the previous question, so I would highly recommend to pause this video and try to solve this question by yourself. The solution to this problem is, for a number to be divisible by 5, the units place can be occupied by either 5 or by 0. So let's make two cases. The first case being 5 at units place and the second case 0 at units place. So for the first case, the units place can be occupied by only 5. So the number of way is 1. The first placeholder cannot be occupied by 0. So the number of ways in which the first place can be occupied is 5. Now there is no other restriction, so we can sequentially fill the remaining places by the number of digits that are remaining. So it is 5, 4 and 3. So the solution for the first use case is 5 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 1, which is equal to 300 ways. Now for the second case, since 0 will be always present in the units place, so the units place can be filled only by one way. Now there is no other restriction, so we can just fill in sequentially. So it is 6 into 5 into 4 into 3. So the final solution for the second case is 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 1, which is equal to 360 ways. Now since both the cases are linked with an OR operator, either the numbers units place will have 5 or the numbers units place will have 0. So we're going to add both the results. So the final result is 300 plus 360, which is equal to 660 ways. Now we have reached the last question of this video series. The question is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 are available. Find number of 5-digit numbers divisible by 3 if repetition is not allowed. Now this is a little tricky question, but I would still recommend you to please pause this video and try to solve this question by yourself. The solution is the sum of the digits is 15. Now we have 6 digits with us and we have to form a 5-digit number. So we can remove only one digit. So the only possible way by which removing one digit we can form a number that is divisible by 3 is either by removing 3 or by removing 0. So the two possible cases are the first case being taking 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and the second case being taking 0, 1, 2, 4 and 5. Now let's solve case 1. Since there is no restriction for this particular case, so the number of ways the first place holder can be filled is 5, then 4, then 3, then 2 and then 1. So the result for the case 1 is 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, which is 120 ways. For the second case, since 0 cannot be present in the units place, so the units place can be filled in 4 ways. Now we are left with no other restrictions. So for the second place holder, we can fill in 4 ways, then 3, then 2 and then 1. So the solution for the second case is 4 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, which is equal to 96 ways. Now since both the cases is linked with the OR condition, either we'll do this or we'll do that. So we are just going to add both the cases. So it is 120 plus 96, which is equal to 216 ways. So this is it for this video. I hope this video was really helpful. If you have any more questions regarding formation of numbers, please write down in the comment section. And I hope you know the drill. Please like, share and subscribe. Also, I will be coming up with more videos on permutation and combination. So please stay tuned.